gewisse Gas da hinten hat, dass man also nicht drin wohnen kann. Im Moment ist Lager, so was ich weiss, und man weiss auch, dass ab und zu die Vorhänge runterfallen.
It was suggested that I check out Junkerngasse number 54, which is the street address for a old house in the city of Bern. Now, more specifically, the Junkerngasse is translated into Nobility Lane, and it is a street in the old city of Bern. The old city is the medieval city center of Bern, Switzerland, built on a narrow hill surrounded on three sides by a river. Its compact layout has remained essentially unchanged since its construction during the 12th and 15th century. The clip at the beginning of this video was featured in a documentary discussing the history of the house on Nobility Lane. Now, the story goes that there is some form of poltergeist activity due to some tragic events that happened in this house's history. While the documentary itself was rather uneventful, the clip that I included at the beginning of this documentary seems to show something peeking out from behind the column. Now, when you enhance the video and zoom in, what you notice is there is a shadow rather than an illuminated face. Now, the light is being cast from something reflecting the moonlight. It's hard to tell what's going on because the resolution is so old. The video is actually very old also. It was a documentary from 2001. I took sections of the video, zoomed in, and then repeat them at various speeds to try to get the motion of the shadow to show up. Now, you may or may not be able to see it clearly in this video. But when I was doing that, something interesting seemed to pop up over on the left-hand side of the column. What I noticed was that there was some other type of shadow that actually looked like a head popping up and then kind of disappearing. Now, it's difficult to make out because the segment is so short, but either way, the video started to become more interesting than I initially expected. Once I had essentially debunked the fact that there's not a glowing, ghostly face peeking out from the column, and that it was actually a shadow, the secondary shadow started making me wonder, why would somebody be hiding over there on that side of the car? I mean, it started making me question whether the initial shadow I saw was a person, or is it a shadow person? When trying to find any more evidence of paranormal activity at this location or on the street itself, I came up empty. There just wasn't anything out there that was compelling. The opening segment of this documentary from 2001 was the most compelling evidence I could find that there might be some kind of activity. Now, there is a 90-minute tour through what they call Spooky Bern, which I would imagine is the old city of Bern, and specifically Nobility Lane. This spooky tour apparently tells you about the stories behind each one of these really old medieval homes. And when you look at the things they're saying that you'll encounter, I mean, everything from witches to dark shapes and shadows, banished spirits, as well as actual grisly accounts of murder and crime that have happened in this street's history. In the off chance that any of you have actually been on this tour through Old Town Bern, let me know what your experiences were. I would be curious to hear in the comment section if any of you have actually been to this location. I could find very little information. It'd be interesting to hear about the history or what types of crimes went on. As far as the shadows and the images in the beginning of this video, if you have any thoughts or ideas on what's going on, feel free to post below. I'll see you in the next video.